Good morning.
Get your kicks on a Route 66.
Hi. Hi, Kimberly.
It winds from Chicago to LA.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you? How are you?
More than
2,000 miles all the way. Get your kicks on a Route
66.
Hi, hi, hi. Hi.
Now you go through St. Louis,
How do we do this?
Joplin, Missouri.
Good morning, David.
Oklahoma City is a mighty
Carolyn, I am going to call you on Messenger in about 5 minutes. You're bored? Well,
Gallup, New Mexico. Flagstaff,
we could go for a walk.
Arizona. Don't forget Winona, Kingman, Barstow,
San
Bernardino.
I thought I'd hear some Bob Marley. Well,
Get hip
I'm not
to
allowed to
this
do that.
timely tip.
Well, I would, but then Facebook would.
When you make
I'm waving. I'm waving.
California trip, get your
Hi,
kicks
Jay.
on a Route
I'm happy to know you.
66.
Oh, people wanted to know about this. Yes, I do. I'm well aware of the day that Bob Marley passed. Her name is Kate Howard. She's from the Ukraine, which is why it took long for the gift to arrive in my home. This was from Alex, my soon-to-be niece-in-law. And that's Ralph Stern playing guitar. This is my dad, and that's my dog, Lily and Pearl, and Pa Ben. Watercolor. Pretty awesome.
St. Louis
I know. I love.
and Joplin, Missouri. Oklahoma City is mighty
I used my lighter last night, and now it's not here.
Amarillo.
Okay. Hi, Gina. I walked by your house. I waved.
Mexico.
Last night? Last night.
Flagstaff, Arizona.
Top of the morning.
Forget
Hi, Jeff.
Winona, Kingman, Barstow,
San Bernardino.
Only you
How are you? How are you? How are you?
this timely
In the beautiful sunny California. We got coast to coast going on. Yes, it's a watercolor. Back to work.
California trip.
I never stopped working. I just shifted jobs.
Your kicks
Right?
on a Route 6.
I know we were all working. Gina, I know you were working hard. You're always working hard. I have that feeling about you. So today we have a guest. And her name is Carolyn Brandy. And I am going to... Okay. I'm gonna call you here. I just said bear. No sun? No sun in Michigan. Well, yeah, there's sun. It's just not warm. What's the temperature? What is the temperature? Hi, Matt.
It's 39 degrees outside.
39. 39 degrees outside. So that means yeah, it's overcast. I do a lot of this today. I do a lot of snuggling with my dog, but not now because just hearing that word 39 made me cold. Yeah, it's kind of a funky day. but it's all good. We're here, right? We are here. Some of us are going back to work. Some of us are going to continue doing what we're doing. Others are probably organizing that last drawer. I've done all my drawers. Good morning, cousin. Hi, Julie. I've missed you. Julie, I've missed you. What's going on? Still have my tulip. We had a lovely Mother's Day. Oh, well, Lillian's, she's around. I think sometimes she just loves to snuggle. She wants to snuggle with me 24/7, and I want to snuggle with her 24/7. If you want to snuggle with Lillian, you could do that. We could arrange a snuggle date. My dog gets snuggle dates. She has a family that we call the Framily, that she goes over. They have 7 children. You're super impressed with yeah, I mean, well, just like you. I mean, who does what you do? Lillian's in all my art. Every piece of art that's on my wall, not every one of them, but quite a few of them have Lillian Pearl in them. Elizabeth Carrion. This is Lynette, who's online right now. Ooh, Janelle, Michelle Burdell. Carolyn Brandy's going to be here today. Hi, Kathy Harvey. Catherine Harvey. Good morning, Florida. So we have Florida, Pittsburgh, Kalamazoo, Los Angeles, Baroda, Fresno, Michigan, Baroda, St. Joseph, Laguna Beach, Benton Harbor, San Antonio. Pretty cool. Thanks, you guys. So today, I'm going to call my friend Carolyn Brandy, who's an amazing being. She's an incredible percussionist. Been in the business, well, I'll let you find out all about her. I haven't seen
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi. Yay.
Wow, this is cool.
It's cool, right? It's cool.
Yeah, you're so techno, dear.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I don't know about that. I'll show you this is my tripod right here. This is how I put you on the screen with everybody. I take my phone, so you're on my phone, and then I project it onto my iPad. And I know there are other ways of doing it that are more technological, but I don't care. I like it this way.
That's pretty cool.
How are you?
So that's how you can see everybody who's watching and everything?
Right. Now I'm looking at seeing. Oh, there's Bayer. Carol Isaac is on. And
Hi, Carol.
Yeah. Carolyn's on. Janelle Burdell's on. Janelle Michelle Burdell. Here, I have to put this rubber band there so I can get you here, and then I'm going to turn you around. How are you?
You know what? I'm doing really, really well. I've moved out of my house in San Leandro. I lived there for 25 years, and I loved that house. I had a humongous garden, and it was a beautiful house. And I moved out of there, and right now I'm staying in over by Children's Hospital in a beautiful house with a beautiful garden. I'm in a cottage in the back. A dear friend has, gifted me to be able to stay here. And in a couple weeks, I'm moving to Philadelphia, believe it or not.
Oh, good. I love hearing that.
To live with my wonders rep.
Wow, far out.
He's so smart. Oh my God. Child is just incredible.
How old is he?
And my son, he's 3.
3?
He's 3 years old. Yes, we FaceTime today.
I think I met Cyric when he was 3. About 4.
Oh my God, probably more like maybe
1986.
maybe 5 or 6. You met him.
1986.
Yeah, he was born in 72.
Okay. So
Oh, he was born in 72, so
Oh.
actually he was 14.
No. Well, I must have met him. I met him.
72.
No, I met him earlier though. I met him when Lisa first moved in because I went to visit.
Right.
So I met him earlier and then lived with him. Yeah, okay. So I missed some years there. I met him and then I came back.
Yeah, that's probable.
Wow.
So I think
You're
we
moving.
moved over to Mississippi to Berkeley, and he was like 5 or 6.
Okay, so 5 or 6 I met him. This is Carolyn Brandy, everybody.
Yeah.
This is my friend Carolyn Brandy. Hi. Hi, Carla. So we have coast to coast on right now. Connecticut to the Bay Area, Los Angeles. I don't know any Philly on here, but
Morning,
there could be.
everybody.
Carolyn Brandy here in the house. It's not
With
so.
my old friend Jenna.
I know, a long time. Because I moved in there in 1986 in the Mrs. Hoovers.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, your connection is.
Well, let's describe for everybody what we're talking about.
Please do.
So we lived across the street from each other in the flats, what we call the flats in Berkeley, close to San Pablo Avenue. And it was really a great neighborhood. We had a lot of musicians actually in that neighborhood, a few anyway. And people were practicing like 24/7. You could hear music all day long.
All the time.
You still there, Jenna?
I am here. You're a little grainy, but what I did was I flipped you around to the screen, so people are looking at you now.
I don't see you anymore.
You won't. You probably see this batik, this tie-dye kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing.
But people are seeing you. That's how technological I am.
Yeah.
Enjoy the batik. I should change that daily. Yeah, so Janelle Burdell. So yeah, we actually lived next to each other. You were in the cottage and I was in the front house.
Yeah, but first, weren't you across the street?
Lisa was.
Your sister Lisa, yeah.
Lisa was, and she lived with what was her name?
Dee Dee?
Dee Dee. Lisa lived with
Yeah,
Dee Dee. Yes.
Dee Dee, right, yeah. Dee Dee's like my best
I
friend.
love Dee Dee. Dee Dee and her
So,
daughter. What was her daughter's name?
She has 2 daughters, Cindy and Lori,
Lori. I knew Lori.
and a son, Bill. Yeah,
Lori was living with Dee Dee when I met her.
right. Okay.
So yes, that was across the street, and then we both lived at
1215
15
Carlton
Carlton
Street.
Street.
Yeah. And that house was owned by a woman who is just one of the beloveds of my life. Her name was Mary Hoover. And we all called her Mrs. Hoover. And she was an elderly black lady who had moved into California in I don't know what year, in the 40s, I suppose, from Arkansas. And she and her husband lived in the front house, and I lived in the back, which was a converted garage into a little 3-bedroom, like a cottage or something. But Mrs. Hoover was just like a miraculous human being. I mean, she was amazing, and she, when I moved in there, she was already an elder when I moved in. When I moved in, she raised the rent for me to live in that house from I think $250 a month to $350 a month.
I paid $200 for the front.
Yeah, and she was a very kind woman, and I was like the 3rd drummer to have lived in that house.
Really?
She liked drums. She would, whenever I was playing drums, which was most of the hours of the day, she'd come outside and garden, and she really liked it. Yeah, I'm forgetting the name of the guy that lived in there. Bob Bray lived there. Some of you old timers might know Bob Bray. And then after him moved in a really great bassist who I'm forgetting his name, but he moved to Switzerland, and professional musician. He lives over there. But yeah, she liked music. She had a lot of musicians in the back there. And I lived there in her house for 17 years. And then in the front house, the place where you lived, it was like a 2-story huge building, and she lived on the top floor, and you guys lived in the bottom floor.
Yes. I lived at Lisa lived there, and then she moved to New York, and then I moved in. Well, she just kind of went to New York, and then I moved in.
Yeah. And how many years did you live there?
I lived there, I think I was there 3.5 years. Maybe, yeah, and then I moved next door.
To Priscilla's place, or
what
Jean
was
Doak's place.
Yeah, Jean's that Priscilla built, because I became friends with Agate. Remember Agate and Philip? Agate and Philip that lived there? Philip lived there in the back, and Agate had 2 children. Agate was an accountant, and she was French and Spanish, and she had long black hair. And she was
That's funny, I'm not remembering that.
She drove a Trans Am.
Oh, God, that's so great.
Do you remember that? But she and I are still we're really, really close friends. She moved to New Orleans from Berkeley, and then, or maybe Santa Barbara for a while, and then Berkeley, and now lives in Florida. But she also lives in France and Mexico. So when I was in Mexico, she would come visit me in Mexico. But
nice.
I lived in Mrs. Hoover's at least 3+ years, and then moved over to Jean's and stayed there for a few years, and then I moved up to North Berkeley.
Oh, okay.
To not really North Berkeley. I moved up near Martin Luther King and Josephine, and then I kind of moved around for a while. But I was describing to someone yesterday, they said, what was it like living in West Berkeley at that time? I said, well, there was a club named Ruthie's.
Right.
That I used to work in bars at night, and then I would come home at 2:30 in the morning to like a party on the block, right? Like in front of our house, there were people like on my front steps, passed out, hanging out, partying, dancing. Oh yeah, and I thought,
at Carlton Street?
Yeah, because Ruthie's was at the end of the street.
That's right. That changed hands, that club. It has so many different names. I forget now.
Yeah, Ruthie's was crazy.
But it changed.
I'm not liking
And there was the barbecue was right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh.
Now it's all bougie and stuff.
Yeah, it's all eco stuff, you know.
Right, it's eco stuff. Back then we were like, how am I going to get from my car to the door? Okay, run, quick. But it was groovy. I always felt so protected by Mrs. Hoover. You know, when there would be an earthquake, she'd call me up. Are you okay? Are you all right? Do you need anything? And I don't know if she did this to you, but check this out. I would come home, and there would be furniture in my apartment. Like a new couch. Not new, but like a couch or a bed or a chair in the kitchen. I'd walk in and be like,
oh. Just let herself in?
Yeah. And she brought in this beautiful red velvet little love seat one time, and another time. It was only 2 bedrooms, kind of like 2 rooms, but there were 3 beds in there, so we called it a 3-bedroom, because one time she just put a bed in there. And that's where she would keep the juice. Tell them about the juice.
Mrs. Hoover was a hoarder.
Yeah.
She was a hoarder, and she, like when you walked upstairs and went into her apartment, upstairs, she lived upstairs from Jenna, and she had been there for, I don't know how many, 50 years maybe. There were little trails through her house, and you had to take the trails, and, you know, she had stuff just piled from the floor to the ceiling, and then she had the downstairs where you lived, and then in the back of my house, there was a huge, like a, what do you call it, a shed, or it looked like a garage, like a not two-story, but a double-car garage.
Behind
that
you?
Was packed from behind me. That was packed from floor to ceiling with stuff. So Mrs. Hoover was always like, we would say, Miss Hoover, why don't you throw that away? She said, one day you're going to need it, and you're going to know where to come for it. And it was true. Anything you ever needed, Mrs. Hoover had it.
Oh, yeah.
But your apartment, when her daughter Ida came from I forget where she lived now. She lived someplace in Ohio, and she moved Mrs. Hoover out because Mrs. Hoover was getting so elderly. She was mentally kind of losing it, and so they had like, I think you had. Well, I'm sure you had already moved by then, but I don't remember by how long.
Yeah, because I moved
But they
down.
had a bunch.
I moved next door, so I still would go and hang out
Oh,
with
you
her.
were next door.
Yeah.
Do you remember they took out like 13 or 14 those big bins that they dumpsters? They took maybe 13 of those out of there, out of stuff out of her house, and then she had all of those like garage sales, in the house. Yeah. Do you remember that?
I do.
She had racks and racks of like camel hair coats. She must have had 30 camel hair coats. She had racks and racks and racks of clothes and furniture, and just unbelievable how much stuff she stored.
She did. And she'd always have on, she would wear like a pair of pants.
With
an apron on, and all kinds of stuff in her pocket. And she always had, remember those big old pins she had? Those big safety pins? That safety pin would, like, you need a pin? And she'd hand you this, like, 9-inch pin, and you're like, yeah, I needed it today, right now, I needed it, yes. Yeah.
She always told me, Carol, one day you're going to need something, and I'm going to have it.
She did. She did.
She was always telling me, Carol, go take a nap.
But tell them about the juice.
And the juice. So we had a lot of, like, this little place, she had so many plants.
Because she'd put a stick in the ground and it would grow, right?
That's what we would tease her about. Stick a stick in the ground and it becomes a big...
It's true.
She was amazing. It would become a big plant. She had like 7-foot tall greens. She was cooking greens a lot. And she was always inviting us up for greens.
And Nella
she'd
pudding.
cook them the old-fashioned way in the iron cast skillet,
I still have a skillet that she gave me with the top.
Oh, how blessed is that? And she would eat out of the skillet so that she could get her iron, she'd say. And she'd make cornbread, remember, in the pan. Oh, God, she was... I kind of think of her as my second mother.
She was a powerful spirit.
She was a beautiful, beautiful person. Oh.
But there was a plum tree back behind by Carolyn's, by your front.
There were a lot of plum trees. She had so much plants packed in that little space. She must have 6 or 7 plum trees, loquats. She had everything back there. So go ahead with the plums.
So they would fall to the ground, and then she'd put them in a jar. Big old jars, and she'd put them in my apartment. Because she was, they were, what was their religion? They were,
Jehovah's Witness.
Yes, they didn't drink alcohol. But they drank juice.
She never called it alcohol.
They drank juice, but they did not drink alcohol.
She'd say, Carol, come up here and get a little glass of juice.
And she'd have, remember Carol? Carolyn, she'd have these little thimbles, she had these little plastic thimble, like, shot glasses. And that
we sit up there and drink juice.
Shit knocked you out.
Oh, yeah?
It was just fermented plums that she'd keep in my apartment.
And a lot of sugar.
Did you ever know about the rat that I had in my apartment?
No, but I know that she would tell me every now and then she would kill a rat up in her. She said she killed it with the broom.
So check this story out. So I'm in my apartment one night. And
God.
Well, here's the longer version, but I'll try to keep it short. I had gone to the Berkeley Bowl and gone shopping. And I bought I was like the little veggie girl, and I had bought some nuts, like 3 different kinds of bags of nuts because of the big bulk section, and I bought all this stuff. And I had one of those cool cabinets in the apartment, in the huge kitchen with one of those stoves that I could burn paper in, and it was like 6-burner stove. And
that was an antique stove.
Yeah, it was so cool. You could warm up. She taught me how to burn wood in it and paper so I could warm up my apartment. That's where I experienced my first earthquake too. But so I put the nuts in the cool cabinet and then went to work, and then the next night I came home to sit on my new love seat that appeared in my kitchen. And I went to have some of the nuts, and they were gone.
Oh my God.
So I thought, maybe I never bought them. So I went to Berkeley Bowl, and back then, you'd walk into the old Berkeley Bowl, the original, not the ones fancy ones
Yeah,
now.
the one up the street. It was just up the street from
Right.
us.
And I said, I'm sorry, I bought some food yesterday, and I showed him the receipt, and I go, and I don't think the nuts made it into the bag. So they said, oh, well, by all means, go back and get whatever you need. So I went back, and I did it. I came home, I put them back into the cool storage, and went to work, came back the next day. They were gone again. So I thought, is Mrs. Hoover taking the stuff? Because the juice was all in that cabinet. And then one night, I was there, and I hear breathing.
Oh,
Really?
ick.
I'm in my bedroom, and I hear...
You're kidding me.
And there was no way to get out of that apartment except the front door with the key, because it had the bars on all the windows and everything. So I thought, there's nobody in here. So I walk out, and I hear something, and then it's gone. And then I went to the cupboard, and there were teeth marks in the shelf, like bite marks, not teeth marks, but like big bite marks. And then Lisa was in town packing up some stuff because she was living in New York, and she came home to get something. And we were in the bedroom, and all of a sudden, so what I did, I have to back up. So I took a cinder block that was also in the kitchen. There was a cinder block in the kitchen, but there was, and I blocked the door, the cupboard door, from opening. And it was up on the lip, like on the counter. And Lisa and I were in the bedroom packing up some stuff. And all of a sudden we hear bam, crash, boom, bam, boom. And Lisa walks out, and there was a rat that was about, 5 feet long. Not really, but giant rat going. Lisa screamed, the rat screamed, running around the room. I'm running around the room. We couldn't get out. We couldn't get out the window because the windows had those locks on them. And we had to open the front door. I think there was a back door there too, but it was blocked with stuff.
Yeah.
And the rat ran out the front.
It ran out?
Yeah.
Holy cow, it was trapped in that cabinet when you put the cinder block?
Yes.
I wonder how it got in the house.
So then I called Miss Hoover. I said, Miss Hoover, I hate to tell you, but there was a rat in there. She said, what? I said, Miss Hoover, there was a rat. And she said, what did it look like? I described this rat. She goes, oh, that old thing? He's been around for years. I said, okay, well, he just ran out. She said, yeah, every time he peek his head out from the toilet, the toilet, I threw Clorox on him.
Oh my God.
And I thought, well, now the rat is out on Carlton Street somewhere.
That's hysterical.
But it did. Lisa and the rat were like,
What was he, the size of a cat? You could hear him breathing?
he was the size of a large cat.
Oh my God.
Because he had eaten all
that's
those
freaky.
nuts and anything else that was in the fridge, in the cool box.
That's so freaky deaky.
Yep.
Oh my God.
And then I moved soon after that, right next door, to hang out with Jean.
Yeah, I love Jean Doak. And then her son, Carl Anthony. Or not Carl,
Khalil.
I mean, Khalil. Yeah, he's a great guitar
He
player.
sure is. So speaking
Yeah,
of
he
great
is.
musicians, Carolyn
And
Brandy.
Carl Anthony lived, there was also Carl Anthony lived, I think he still lives there now.
I think they
But he's
both do.
great. Huh?
I think they both do.
Yeah,
I
both him and Khalil, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, but Carl Anthony is like known as one of the founders of the whole ecological movement.
Yeah.
He's written many books.
And remember Jean's mom?
And Jean's mom, I do kind of remember her.
She used to hang out with me in the backyard when I lived in the back house.
That was a nice place.
Mm. Oh,
Typical Berkeley, right?
I live there now. I
Oh,
love that
huh?
house. I love that.
You would
What Priscilla did, it had bowling alley floors.
Beautiful house.
Good morning, Jeanette.
Yeah, Priscilla Rice, and people might know her too. She lived back there. for a long time. And she was an electrical worker. Electrician, you call them.
She founded
And-
Seven Sisters.
That's right. Boy, back in the day, man, that was something. We had all kinds of people coming through there.
It was crazy. And Carolyn was on the road a lot, too.
I was on the road with Alive. Yeah, a lot. Yeah, and Dee Dee across the street would take care of Searick, would move in with her and her 3 kids, my son, and Searick Dee Dee would take care of Searick while I was on the road. Yeah, those were the days. And Lisa was back and forth with Michigan, the
Right.
Michigan Women's Music Festival, your sister.
And then she was in New York, and then she'd go back and forth.
Golly.
Yeah,
Those
you
are
were
the days.
moving it. So are you playing? Are you hanging? Are you doing any
Mostly
teaching?
I'm moving.
You're moving, yeah.
I've been teaching a lot. I don't play that much anymore. I do, every now and then. Like I just did that concert with Faye Carroll. She had Faye and Pete. Pete was supposed to come, but his son Juan came in his place. It was just right at the night before they shut everything down, and we were over there at the club. I forget now what the name is. Jeez, I have no memory anymore. But that was really a fun gig. I played with Faye for a long time, off and on,
Faye's still in the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah, she's right up the street.
Yep.
Yeah. Berkeley, man.
But you're back, you're close to it now. You drive right by there now if you wanted to.
I know. Where
Wave
do you
and go.
live at?
Well, I'm part-time. I'm in Oakland, and then I'm in Michigan but I'm up at Lisa's. I'm hanging out more with Lisa now. She's up in Lakeport.
Yeah.
She has
Up in California, right?
yeah, northern.
Yeah.
She was in Ukiah. Well, she was in Willits because she started the first no-kill animal shelter, the Milo Foundation, 30 plus years ago, and then she moved to Ukiah and stayed in Ukiah for 20 plus, and now she and Dr. Katie Summers, who was on a couple weeks ago, is a vet. They live in Lakeport, which is east of Ukiah on the 20. If you've ever been to Clear Lake,
Yeah. Is that Mendocino County?
they're in Lake County now. Ukiah is
Lake
Mendocino County, and
Yeah.
now they're over to the east. Oh wow, we have India on the line. India.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they have a beautiful ranch. And
Oh, beautiful.
when are
up
you
there.
planning on moving?
I'm moving in 2 weeks. Yep.
Are you driving?
No, I'm going to fly. It's scary as all get out. But, my sister and I were thinking about driving my car across country. When I first thought I would move, the plans were starting to come together. Did you know Hawk Beats?
Yes.
He was a DJ here in town
Yes.
and produced a lot of music. And his mother and I had bought the house like 25 years ago. And so Hawk lived in the house. He lived
I
upstairs
remember
from me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, beautiful person, really beautiful child. And I helped raise him from the age of 6. And he died, on December 2nd in the house.
In the house.
He died in his sleep.
Oh.
And Odelia found him there.
Oh.
And
I knew
was
he
one of those-
I knew he died. I didn't know the story, and I wasn't going to ask unless you talked about it. So.
yeah, he passed away there, and peacefully, I guess. I mean, the toxicology and everything has come back, and they deemed it cause of death is unknown. But they think maybe he had a seizure because he had an operation on his hand a couple weeks before. It's possible that maybe a blood clot had moved
Really?
into his brain. But he was only 34 years old and just super vital, so much vitality and so much
Creativity.
just a
Really
lot
intense human being.
He was a very talented young man. He had a lot of people that he worked with. There was always a gang of fellows over there at the house making music and recording music. He had a little recording studio in the garage. So that was really horrific. I was in L.A. for Thanksgiving and had just come home, and the police cars were parked out
Oh,
front of the
no.
house. And then I said, what's going on? I didn't know. I went downstairs, and then I got a phone call from our family doctor who told me that Hockey had passed, and it had been like maybe a half hour that she had found him. So maybe I got home right around the time she had just found him. And then, so I went upstairs, and they said yes, that he had died. And then the coroner came, and it was horrible. It was just horrible.
This life is precious.
You know what, Jenna? It's just so, life is just so very, very, very precious. And in this time and age, so many people are dying. I can just really, I guess I'm a little bit of an empath. I feel it, I can just feel that.
Well, you're with good company.
Oh, I know. It's just, oh God, it's just, it's unfathomable.
It's too much. It's too
So
much.
when Hockey died, that was December 2nd. And his mother, who found him, Odelia, poor thing, she left the house. She went and stayed with a friend. And she would come to the house every day because so many people were coming over, to pay their respects. But she hasn't stayed in the house at all since then. She hasn't slept there.
That's okay.
So, we decided to sell the house at that point. And, it kind of was, Odelia had wanted to sell the house quite often before, and I never wanted to. I had a huge garden there and just a lot invested in that house. But at the same time, what was happening in Philadelphia with my son is that
Philadelphia is so cool.
Philadelphia is cool. It's so cultural,
cool.
There's just so much
I'll come
culture.
visit you in Philadelphia.
Oh, please do. But what happened was, my son and his wife live in South Philly. And South Philly is like just totally being gentrified.
Oh, I
right
know.
now.
I was just there this summer with Ralph, and I did a house concert in South Philly. And you just
really?
watched. Yeah, yep. We played there. We played in Philly quite a bit.
Oh, that's fun. We'll have to talk about that. But anyway, let me, after I finish my story.
No, please.
But,
That's
so
why you're here.
South Philly,
I talk all the time.
South Philly is, as you know, it's kind of like East Oakland in a kind of a way in that you'll have a beautiful street, and then the next street will just be like gang war going on, and then the next street over is nice, and then the next street down over there, you don't want to walk down this, kind of like that. So as it turns out, the street that they live on, there's a couple drug dealing houses there that have been there for like 20 years, and the police know about it. They kind of allow it to happen. And so they live in row houses. So in the house next to them, not right next to them, but the next house adjacent, there's a whole family of people who deal drugs, and the kids are always out on the street hawking drugs and selling drugs. And then around the corner, they have an affiliate house who also, they deal in a lot of drugs. So, it's just become a kind of a dangerous, it's a dangerous situation to try to raise a kid.
Sure.
You can't really go out. He can't go out, of course, just to go out and play. I mean, there's really no place to do that.
That's how it used to be in West Oakland when I lived in West Oakland, and now they're building community gardens everywhere.
It's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So now what happened was something happened where they had they're having some kind of war between gangs, and there was a kid right around the time that all this happened with Hockey. There was my son and Maxwell had gone to the park. They always go to, it's just down the street. And they came home, and we were FaceTiming, and Seabrook told me, Mom, there was a shootout in our park, and a kid was killed. And he said that happened an hour after we left the park. And so Candace and Seabrook, my son, they're always talking about wanting to move out of that place. So, just the light bulb opened. I said, well, maybe it's time for me to sell this house.
Wow.
The money we can get from the house, we can buy 2 houses.
Yeah, or 3 or 4 somewhere.
Outside of California.
Congratulations on buying a house in California, Carolyn Brandy.
We bought it in 1995. We have a house that's 3,200 square feet, and we bought that house for $2.5 million.
Wow.
and it's on the top of a hill and has a view of the whole Bay Area. I mean, it's unbelievable. So we have a lot of equity in that house. So
Good for you.
I decided right then, well, I'll move to Philly and we'll buy a bigger house in a safer neighborhood, where Maxwell can have a yard.
Wow.
So that's what we're doing.
Have you? So are you going to go live with them, and then you guys will look for a house together?
Yeah, that's what's happening, So in a couple weeks, I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to quarantine for 2 weeks
Good.
first.
I was going to ask you, okay, because you're flying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ka-ching.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was the other story. My sister and I, before this whole pandemic started, I was going to do Born to Drum and then leave.
Okay.
I was going to, in August I was going to go.
Right.
I was going to do our camp. So, and my sister and I were excited. We were going to drive across country. We were going to have a great time. And so all this pandemic stuff happened, and I thought, oh, no. I don't want to be driving across country, stopping in gas stations, and going to the bathroom. And it's just too dangerous, staying in motels. And so I thought, well, I'll take my chances. I'll fly and get my car transported over there. So that's what I'm doing.
And then
Lots
where
of
will you
changes,
stay?
Jenna.
Where are you staying when you get there? Are you staying in a hotel? Are you staying in friends?
I'm staying in the Airbnb, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of right downtown. There's a lot of parks right around.
Oh. And museums, gorgeous. You can just walk to the museums and.
Yeah, if they're open. I don't know if they are. But there's a Trader Joe's on Market Street. I don't know if you know it. But Ceric, my son, works there, so we were talking. We'll be able to meet in the park. There's a park right there, and hang out 6 feet
apart. Is he still doing his art?
Oh yeah, he does a lot of art. So hopefully too, we'll get a big house where he'll have a room, a place where he can do his art, and I'm sure Maxwell will love that too.
That's what he was doing, cartoons. I remember when he first started drawing cartoons.
He does everything.
Superheroes.
He does all the art for my camp, all the graphics.
So your camp is on hold now as well?
Yeah, we realized pretty early, like in March, that it just wasn't going to be happening by July. It wasn't going to be safe. The other reason too, Jenna, because a lot of our camp people are over 50. I would say half of the camp is in a high-risk group.
No
and then,
need.
there's it's rustic. It's in the park. So there's not a lot of sanitation, places to wash your hands. I mean, there are, but, you have to walk to the camp bathroom, you know what I mean? And then the way we do food, we share food. It's like a big pot. Like I said, oh, no.
Yeah, that's all part of the new, I mean, yeah.
It's too dangerous. I don't want to inflict this on anybody and take that responsibility. It would have been irresponsible to try to do it. And now as it turns out, I don't know. What do you think is going to be happening by July?
I don't know. I know that in where I am in Michigan right now, they've canceled all public events for the summer. As far as this town that I'm in is this idyllic, sweet town right on Lake Michigan, about 3 hours from the land. And
wow.
They have on every Wednesday they have a brown bag concert where artists perform, and then Friday nights they have a concert, and then on Sundays the municipal band plays, and on once a month they have an antiques fair on the bluff, and they have a huge art fair. One of the biggest juried art fairs in the country happens in July. It's my favorite holiday. They canceled everything. It's all my I've had over 47 gigs, 48 gigs have now canceled officially for me between now and October that I have had booked.
Unbelievable.
And I have one gig here in town that's happening that may happen in July, because they'll be able to open but at a particular capacity. So, if maybe 200 people can be there regularly, there'll only be 80 people allowed, or whatever numbers, or it'll be outside. And then I have a 6-day tour at the end of August. But the cool thing about that gig is, Janelle Burdell just said Pittsburgh already canceled the fall semester of public schools. Wow. That's
Whoa.
heavy.
But you know what? I appreciate them really taking stock of what's the reality of what's happening and not endangering people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I'm not going to want to go to a concert. I'm not going to want to go to Yoshi's and hang out at a show, let alone if I want, I'd love to be on stage, but yeah, who's going to want to sit next? I'm not going to want to sit next to anybody. And I've always been one of those people when someone coughs, I move. I'm like, I'm going to go sit on the other side of this person. See you. Bye. That's,
Well, you have to protect your vocal cords.
Right. When I'm on a plane, Carolyn, for 20 years, I've been that crazy lady on the plane where I wipe down my table I bring handy wipes with me. I have a mat. I have a whole container. People go, oh, you have 2 suitcases, like, carry-ons. One is just for stuff for the plane to wipe it down. My oils, my mask, my headphones, my whatever. Because if I lose my voice on the plane, done.
Not good.
Yeah, I can't.
So you used to wear a mask on the plane?
Oh, all the time. All the time.
Wow, that's smart.
It's just what I've done. And then I have little tricks like Neosporin in my nose and all these different things that, singers like, I always learn stuff from Patty. I've learned stuff from Rebecca Paris.
So what is that
Nancy
Neosporin in the nose? This is tips that I need to do for my trip coming up.
Right. Neosporin in the nose and even in the ears and around the eye area can block. It's an antibiotic ointment. I'm just reading what people are saying.
You just put the ointment like around your eyes?
Yeah, not in your eye, but like around it. Because if you touch around there, that's antibacterial. I mean, girl, if I were you, and I'm not meaning to be, I would definitely bring gloves. I would wear gloves going through TSA. I would take them off when I'm done at TSA.
And throw them away.
Yeah. And then I'd have I mean, when I walk now anywhere, I have hand sanitizer in my pocket, extra gloves, extra mask.
I carry Lysol wipes.
Yeah, and wipes, sure. Yeah, and then when you get on the plane, wipe down your seat, wipe down.
I probably have a bunch of different pairs of gloves because the trouble with gloves is if they can be like your hands. If you touch something,
right, then you
touch your.
Wear one hand glove and one not. But when you go through TSA, yeah.
And then you have to throw them away and have another clean pair to put on.
I might even,
right?
And then the pair of shoes that you wear from your house to the plane, to Philadelphia, I wouldn't let those shoes in the house. But, that's me. I'm
going to spray down everything with alcohol.
Yeah.
I was thinking about I'm going to send my car early to see Rick, so he'll have my car because I have to have my congas with me.
Yeah. So how many? What are you going to do about that? Are you carrying multiple drums? Are you?
Yeah. So I'll have 2 pods packed. I don't know how many drums I've got. Probably 15 drums, something like that. But I kept out 3 so that I could have a set of drums because I'm teaching on Zoom and stuff too, and so. I'm going to put those in the car and send my car out a week early so that when I get there, my car will already be there. And in the car, I'm going to put a bottle of alcohol in a spray bottle that I walk around with and have C-Rick bring that to the airport. When he comes to pick me up, right. I'll have a mask. I'll sit in the back seat. He can sit in the front. But we're going to spray down everything before it even goes in the car. My shoes, all the luggage.
Yeah.
We'll spray it down with alcohol.
But I also believe that you're going to be just fine. And you'll have a lovely flight. What airline do you fly?
American.
They're taking their steps, and you'll have a beautiful flight, and you'll probably have your own row.
Oh, I hope so.
You might even get bumped up to first class.
Oh, that would be terrific. I hope it's not super crowded. They say that more people are starting to fly now. I don't know.
Did you get a good deal on a ticket?
Not really.
No. Well, I'm happy that you're going to be there. Does C-Rick play any instruments?
No, he's an artist. He's to the bone.
But your grandchild, I bet you're going to have drums all over the place.
God.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. I'm so excited to be there with him and do music with him. He loves music. He loves it. When I bought him a little drum when he was like 2. So every time I'm there, every day, he's like, Grandma. She says, Grandma. He's got a little Philadelphian accent.
Grandma.
Grandma, play the drum. Play the drum.
This woman
You
can
play
play the
the drum,
drums, you
Maxwell?
guys. This woman
He's
can
playing
play
the
the
drum. He's
drums.
singing. And then when I play the drum, he dances. He'll dance till he drops. But Jenna, I tell a story about him. He's so smart. He started reading when he was before he was 3, and when he was 2, he started reading. But he watches a lot of these learning channels on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And so the other day,
I guess I better start.
called him. We FaceTime all the time. I called him. I said, and he was playing with his Play-Doh, and I said, Maxwell, what are you making? He said, I'm making the large intestine. I said, you're making the large intestine? He says, yes. I'm learning all about the digestive system.
Oh my goodness.
He's 3 years old.
Is there a doctor in the house? Is there a doctor in the house?
It's going to be by the time he's 15. I said, oh, Maxwell. I said, well, what happens to food when you eat it? He said, it goes in the stomach, and then it goes into the little intestine, and then it goes to the large intestine, and then it goes into the anus, and it comes out as poop.
Wow.
Lots of laughter. He's laughing about the poop, of course.
Oh yeah, they love that. I was a Montessori teacher. I know all about poop stories
Yeah.
in that age group. They love it. Mm-hmm.
And so then the next day I called him, and he was doing his Play-Doh again. I said, Maxwell, what are you making? He said, I'm making a pancreas. It's round and it's small, and it goes right here. And he passes belly. I said, oh, and he says, and the gallbladder shoots bile into the pancreas.
Whoa.
Oh, no, this kid. And then the next day, he said, Grandma, we had an epiglottis. Because his L's, he can't quite get his L's. I said, an epiglottis, Maxwell? He said, no, Grandma, epiglottis. I said, oh, what does that do? It hangs down in your mouth. He's unbelievable, this kid. And then the next day a week later, he says to me, I call him, hi, Grandma. I'm learning about the human body. I'm learning about my body. I said, oh, that's wonderful, Maxwell. He says, Grandma, would you like to talk about the human body?
Crazy. Wow. How cool.
I thought I was going to die right then and there. He's really, really smart.
Oh, I'm excited. Well, I'll meet him. And you're going to be closer to IMA. All kinds of stuff happening over there.
No. Mm-hmm. Me and Ann Hackler were Facebooking, and she said, "Oh, now maybe you can make it up to IMA." I said, "Yes."
Have you been?
No.
To the East Coast? Oh, it's so great.
I know, it must be just incredible.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah,
great.
that's one of the trips, and Janelle and I are in touch. Hi,
Janelle just said, "Yay!"
And that's really fun. We've been talking about how to survive all this tech with all the techno stuff.
Well, she's a techno girl. Janelle knows what's going on. I'm just getting started on some things. Janelle said she will pick you up.
Hey.
I might have to get in on this one.
Come on.
A June Millington Slammin' Babes reunion concert
at
IMA.
Let's do it.
I've invited June on the show. One of these days, both she and Ann will be on, I'm sure.
She's amazing. You should get Ann on too. Ann's really great.
I know.
Ann is terrific.
Yep. Janelle said she'll pick you up and take you to IMA.
Oh, God. You got a date, Janelle?
I want to hear the two of you play together.
I do too.
It's been a long time.
And we need a singer.
I'm there.
Sang.
I'll sing with you. I'll sing anything.
Yeah.
So do you have, does Alive, if I Google Alive or go to YouTube, are there recordings? Lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Lots of videos and stuff.
I could, well, there's not so many videos because it was back in the day. But you could go to Rhiannon's site too, Rhiannon Music. And she's got a whole page dedicated to Alive. And I think all the recordings are there.
Now, do you have a website?
You know what? I had one, but it got malware, and I haven't redone it. I've been mostly using the Women Drummers International website for. Well, it's not my personal website, but that's one of the things that's on my list.
Tell me about that. What's the Women's International?
Women Drummers International is a nonprofit that I started. It actually started before we incorporated, but we incorporated in 2006. But I started with that group in 1998, I think. And we produced, Born to Drum. That's our main event. And Born to Drum is a camp of women drummers. It's a 4-day camp that we have in the Chabot Regional Park in the summer. And this year would have been our 15th year, believe it or not. And there's incredible artists that come. We do drumming, but we also do a lot of healing workshops, So we have all kinds of stuff going on. And singing, we have Michaela comes and different people. Christelle Durandi came one summer. And we have women from all over the world. I mean, from all over the world. So we have Mabiba comes. Everybody lives in the States, almost everybody. We bring Rita Lewis and usually Afia from Jamaica. We fly them in. And then we have guests that come, like Annette Aguilar.
Yeah, I was just with Annette in New York in January.
Right. And Nydia Mata. Oh. Nydia Liberty Mata. She's been many times. So Edwina Lee Tyler from New York.
I love Edwina.
Yeah, but Mabiba comes. She comes from Utah. She's from the Congo. Nikki comes from LA. She's from Panama. We got Native American drummers. We got, Peta Robles. She's from Peru, and also Lali. She's from Venezuela. All these people teach all this amazing music. I mean, it's really incredible. Michelle Gerlitz teaches the Brazilian stuff. We've got Denise and teaching solis from the Bomberas.
Are you people hearing all these names? These are all women from all over the world that are just badass musicians.
Badassery. I mean, really. And
Big
great
time.
teacher.
Big time.
Great teacher. Yeah. And then we have people teaching Qigong and yoga and singing and dancing.
Well, if it happens next year, I'd like to sign up and be a part of it. And I could teach yoga, I can sing, I can do some other healing stuff. And
Janelle and I
you'll be back.
commiserating about how to get her out there too, because with the Udu, it's a little bit difficult because people have to have an instrument, so not that many people have Udus, but it'd be great to have Janelle too.
She's got Udus on the East Coast and Udus on the West Coast.
Yeah. So it's fun. I don't know, maybe this move to Philly will make Born to Drum spread out. I've had different people ask me about maybe doing it in other parts of the country.
Of course. And you could do... Hi, Winter. Oh, there's a promoter right on that just showed up. My friend Winter Williams. Do you know Winter? Winter, this is Carolyn Brandy. Carolyn Brandy, Winter Williams. Winter produces concerts through the Ivy Room, and she also did a big festival up in Montclair this last spring, which I know she was planning on doing this year. And Steve Urquiaga just showed up. He's here.
Hi, Steve.
Carolyn Brandy, everybody.
How are ya? Hi, Steve. Nice to see you. Hear your name.
Yeah.
So what happens if somebody just is scrolling down on Facebook and they happen to, they land on your page? You see that they're there?
They see. Oh yes. So they're scrolling on their page. Ooh, what's going on? And then they say, oh, who's Jenna? What? Oh, that's Carolyn Brandy. And then they jump on and here we are. And then
but they have to click your picture, right? For you to see.
It'll say Jenna is live, and then they click on that. And then they're sitting here just like we are, hanging out.
And what's going on?
Monday morning and wherever, from California to India to Italy, and
it's so cool.
Every day, 11:11.
And so we're on What are we on?
We're on Facebook Live. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I've been wanting to, any technological people out there, I want to stream this on other formats, on other platforms, YouTube, I don't even know, Instagram. So I'm slowly upping it every day. A microphone is on its way. RP, do you know how to? RP's a drummer. RP, this is Carolyn Brandy. RP Callahan is a drummer he lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I met him at a gig that my cousin had, because I have an incredible guitarist cousin in New Mexico, Mikey Wright. And but RP's also a tech guy, so I've been slowly, I tweak it every week. I'm getting a mic this week. I'm gonna get a new light because my light they turn on. I'm in a corner in my little house in Michigan right now, so.
Well, you've been so prodigious. I mean, you're really just. It's amazing. You've been doing an amazing thing. You're on all the time. It seems like. I mean, but you're not. But it's really great, and you're really consistent. That's the thing about it. It takes a while to pick up where people know that you're actually going to be there,
Yeah.
And then you get more people coming in. It's really, really cool what you're doing, Jenna.
It's fun, and thank you.
It's great.
Thank
great.
you. And people donate. I have a Venmo page, a Venmo and a PayPal and a Patreon page, and that's
there you go. You ought to say that more often because I haven't heard you say that.
Because I'm not good at that part. I have a Venmo account, and I have a PayPal page, PayPal me page, and I'll post it on this link today on your page on this show. I will post it, and I guess I should say it every time because that's how I have no. My life changed like everybody else's changed, and I don't know. I'm not an essential, even though I know I'm essential, and we all are. As musicians, we are essential healers, and we need to perform, and we need people to hear us, and people want to hear us, and
difficult.
But I get these magical gifts. I had people send me. In fact, the microphone that I'm getting, someone gifted to me. They said you need a microphone, so I'm.
That's so great.
Yeah, because.
I just love people. I love our community. It's just incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So, Jenna, you applied for any of this unemployment and all that?
I've done that the gig worker unemployment thing, and I still haven't heard anything. And I applied for a couple of grants. That the Music Cares, the Grammy. Do you know about that?
Yeah, right.
I applied for that, and I applied for a couple other things that. Hi, Carol. Yeah. So.
Have you gotten anything? Has anything come through?
Not yet.
I've applied for a couple grants. I haven't done the unemployment thing, but I've applied for a couple grants, and I haven't gotten anything there.
Did you get your stimulus check?
I got my government money.
Yeah, I got my stimulus. I got it this week. So.
Yeah, I got mine this week too. It's gone already, of course.
Yeah, spent before you got it, but that's the way it is.
But I'm grateful for it. Fortunately, I had a little money saved. I had buried it in the dirt. I buried it in the yard, and I'm using that to move.
I've known a lot of people that bury. Living in Northern California, I know people that buried money in the yard, and then I'm glad you got it out because a lot of people, when the fires happen, they're.
Oh my God!
Think about that one.
I never thought about that. Holy cow!
Yep.
Well, I was buried deep enough it wouldn't have gotten burnt up, but still, even having to go back and trying to find it.
Right. Yes.
Girl, I don't know. I would say to anybody who's listening to me is that to prep as much as you can, even now. It's kind of late now because, when I mean prep, I mean like when you go to the store, to Costco, every now and then buy an extra big container of like toilet paper or buy, milk or dried milk or buy cans of stuff and put it away.
Be like Mrs. Hoover. You'd be like Mrs. Hoover.
Exactly. You think Mrs. Hoover would be in need of anything right now?
Well, I'd probably go over to her house right now.
Everybody would be.
We'd have a party at Mrs. Hoover's house.
Everybody on the whole block. But, put in that garden if you can, because we don't know what's coming down the pike with climate change and everything. It could get, I hate to say this, but it could get worse.
What do you like to grow in your garden? What did you have in your garden?
I grow everything. I'm a real farmer. I've been gardening most of my life. And so right now, they come up, the food comes up on its own pretty much because my soil is so good. But, there's lots of greens right now. Now is a perfect time. We're in the end of May. Yeah, certain things, people already have their tomatoes in, I'm sure.
Yeah,
and tomatillos and peppers. I grow a lot of peppers. I love hot peppers. I love peppers in general. peppers. Oh God, everything. Last year I grew okra.
Mm.
I had a lot of okra, and that was wonderful. I could freeze, I can freeze it. I grew corn one year. I only grew corn one year
Really?
because, you need a lot of space for
Corn in
and
Oakland. She remember
I had,
cows in
you have to go
Berkeley?
on my Facebook page and scroll down there. I wrote a goodbye letter to the Bay Area, and on that letter there's some photos. There's photos of my,
I did see your letter.
post on my page. There's a photo of me standing next to my corn, and my corn is like 12 feet tall or something. People say, Carolyn, what's your magic to success in your garden? I say, chicken shit.
Yeah.
That's it.
Did you have chickens?
I did have chickens. Yeah, I have a chicken coop at my beautiful house. It's going to go on the market this week.
Wow. Well,
Yeah,
perfect
it's a
time to
beautiful
be.
place.
There'll be a garden. Somebody that loves to garden will buy your house.
I hope so. I planted so many trees. I have a goddess lemon tree, Meyer lemon, that produces year round. I've got an avocado tree, a fig, an apricot, 3 apples, a lime, a lot of cherry.
Well, if I could afford to buy your house, I would buy your house. It sounds lovely. I know where you are, so
Yeah.
good on
it's
you for
beautiful.
doing that and having a beautiful garden. And
The garden's huge. It's big. So I grow all kinds of things. Just onions, garlic, potatoes. I always have those in the yard. And the potatoes, once you have them, you can't get rid of them. They keep coming back.
I have a great story. My friend Jonna lives near you, and her mother moved in with her about, I don't know, in the last 3 years. And her mom planted a garden. And her mom also, Jonna didn't know everything she planted. And her mom passed away this past year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And, she's a lovely lady. And John is a really, really great friend of mine. In fact, I need to call her today. I have all these people that I keep in touch with through the week. And anyway, a couple weeks ago, she was talking to her sister on the phone who lives in Georgia. And she said, I'm gonna go start, she's going to start a garden. And her sister said, well, yeah, go out in the back and, till all that stuff up. And she was telling her, and she was digging around and she found a bunch of potatoes that her mom had planted.
Wow.
So she dug them up and she's been making potatoes for the last week. So I'm making potato soup and she baked potatoes, and so she got this beautiful gift from her mom.
Isn't that beautiful?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, Jenna, you grew up in Michigan, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you must have had gardens.
Oh yeah, I had big gardens. I had a grow room in my basement as a child. My dad, we did starts, and actually we had other things growing in our basement, and
You mean germinating? You'd be germinating plants?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had a kitchen and a little green room and lights, and then we had a backyard, and my dad and I planted all kinds of stuff. And we grew up around farmland. Right across the street from us were, corn and tomatoes, and everything's here. Everything is here.
Rich.
Yeah. And right now all the flowers are blooming. Like I have this beautiful tulip that... Mm-hmm.
Well, I have to hold to the notion, and I know that it's going to be true, that the house that we buy over in Philly for all of us, the big house, it's going to have a yard. It has to have a yard, a big yard for Maxwell to run, but also because my son, he's gotten into gardening too, and we're going to farm over there. So, I'm really excited about putting in a new garden. I mean, I hate a lot of tears about leaving my old garden, but I'm looking forward to gardening with my grandson and germinating seeds and watching the seeds come up. Such a spiritual thing,
Do you have seeds that you're going to be carrying from your garden? Did you?
Yes,
oh,
I have a whole big bag. I have a TJ bag full of seeds.
Cool.
Seeds that came from my garden. So we'll see what happens. But I've got all kinds, and I've already been studying the zone. It's zone 7, and in Philadelphia.
Whole different world.
And, it's a shorter growing season, but it gets really, really hot, and then it gets cold in the winter. So
yes, it does.
I'm excited because it'll be good for cherries, because cherries like like to have the cold of the winter. And it'll also be good for Brussels sprouts. I have tried to grow
I've grown Brussels sprouts
in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it gets cold. They like the colder weather.
But my friend Robin has where he lived in Berkeley on Derby Street. They had a cherry tree in the backyard.
Yeah, and it produced.
Oh yeah, big beautiful cherries.
That's beautiful. It's not too common though in the east, in California. Cherries.
Just like lilacs aren't common either. Lilacs in the Bay Area aren't common, but they're up
I had
north.
a lilac.
Do you?
I had a lilac tree, but it never did really flower.
Because it
that
didn't
much.
get cold enough. You have to put
It doesn't get cold enough.
ice at the roots, ice at the base.
Yeah, well, I didn't do all that. But
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, so
You were
Brussels
busy
sprouts.
playing your drums.
Yeah. There's a lot of other things to do besides icing my lilac tree.
I know, but that's what people. But in Ukiah there are lilac trees, and in Michigan, starting in the next. I get to review somebody's ice cream. Great, that's cool. In Michigan, in this area in Southwest Michigan, lilacs will be happening in the next week or so.
Oh God, to die for.
They're my best, my favorite.
The creator is so good. I mean, it's just such a. So we're gonna do the beautiful garden thing when I get to Philly, and we're all excited about it. The whole family is excited about it, and we have extended family there too. Seerick's partner, Candace, she has two sisters, and they both have kids, and so we're hoping, we're going to have a big house where everybody can come and hang out, all the kids,
Wow.
play in the backyard, and so
well, and it'll be interesting to see the new norm in that way too. How everybody communes in the home, and yeah.
A lot of unknowns, huh, Jenna?
Yep. My mom just moved into a house with my brother Mitch, and we had a Mother's Day party yesterday, a I call it physical distancing because we're totally social. And
so where are they at? Where's Mitch and your mom at?
They're about a quarter of a mile from here.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah. But I'm going back to the Bay Area. That's where my stuff is. I have a lot of stuff here, but that's where my other life is. But all my gigs have canceled, so I'm not in any hurry to get back.
So do you actually have a residence here in the Bay Area?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I'm up at Lisa's. I have a room at Lisa's, and then I have a friend has a house in Oakland.
Perfect. So you have a room there with a lot of stuff in it?
No, not a lot. Just enough, and I have my cars there, and
gosh.
Yep. So I'm here, but I want to be here with my mom. I was in Mexico, and I wanted to come back and hang out with her, and then everything shifted. And Janelle says there are lilacs in Pittsburgh now. Are they bloomed? They're all like, you can have them? Do you have one at your house, Janelle? Janelle Michelle Burdell. I love her so much.
So let me see you, Jenna. I haven't been looking at you this whole time. There you are.
I'm right here. I know.
Hi.
Crazy.
You have beautiful earrings on today.
Oh, yeah. These are from Mexico.
So I'm noticing that you just look gorgeous every single time I come on Facebook. You're there, just beautiful. In all your beauty. And then I love it when you play your songs and you sing along with your songs. I love that. Some wonderful songs that you've recorded. Really, truly nice.
Thank you.
Beautiful song.
Thank you. Well, hopefully we'll be doing more soon. With Cookie Marenko is going to be on the show next Sunday night, and I've been playing those or saving those from. Played a couple because it's hard not to because we've done some cool stuff together. But thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm alone here in my house with my dog, and this has been a really great way to connect with people and to create community. And now people are going to look you up and look up you can, when you're done today, post a link to your camp and any websites that you have in the feed where we are right now, where people like Janelle's writing stuff. post in that feed, and then people can look you up easier too. And people in Philadelphia, Carolyn Brandy's moving. If you need a percussionist in Philadelphia,
I'm your girl.
totally.
This is a really good thing that you're doing, Jenna. It really is really great. I'm doing a little thing on my Facebook page, and that my niece Johari, she challenged me to one of those 20 albums in 20 days.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And so I did that, and now I'm on day 36, I think, because you know what? It just took my head out of the television and all the media about the pandemic, and put me right back into the music, because I started thinking about my favorite music and trying to find it on YouTube and posting it, and it has become this thing that I really look forward to every day, posting a piece of music that I like. And I've also posted some originals. I posted a song that Faye Carroll did on my Skin Talk album called Grandma's Voice. That's on there.
I know that song.
Yeah, and some songs from the Alive albums, but just I have a wide taste in music. I love good music. That's basically it. So I've got stuff from avant-garde New York stuff to Wynonna Judd to
Hey. What's today's album going to be?
I think I'm going to post an album by Gustavo Santaolalla. I don't know if I don't know if I said that right, but he's a film composer, and he's done the music for a lot of films, and his music is absolutely extraordinary. So this is music from a movie called Babel.
Oh, okay. I know that movie.
They had Brad Pitt. The soundtrack from that movie is extraordinary.
Really?
It's absolutely beautiful. He had another composer on that.
It's quite a movie.
And I forget his name. A Japanese guy, right? Rakioto. I forget. I don't want to. I can look it up here, but.
See, this is why I love doing this, because Carolyn, we're just hanging out, and whoever rolls on, scrolls on, pops on, they're here, and Janelle's chilling with us, and we're all connected.
Real cool. It's really cool. So when I get off the phone, I'm going to post the music for today. This piece that I'm going to post today is just so beautiful.
Then you'll be highlighted on this show. I'll put your name, and people can click on you and check out. My nephew's doing something really cool. Tell us your website again.
It's www.womendrummers.org.
Womendrummers.org. My friend Jeff Metzger.
By borntodrum.org or .com. borntodrum.com. Yesterday I posted, my godmother, Amelita Pedroso from Havana. I posted her version of Yemaya, singing to Yemaya. With the Vatu. And then the day before, I posted I Love Supreme, John Coltrane, because there's just so much anger and despair in the land, especially with this killing of this young black man, Ahmed Arbery. And I don't know, it made me think of John Coltrane, his song, I Love Supreme, because the genius of the black cultural, the genius of black culture, he's like, he's a messenger, such a divine messenger of love, and, I don't know, it's just, that killing has just made everybody, it's just enough already, it's just so sad. So I posted Love Supreme by John Coltrane, and then a lot of people respond, So I've been putting a lot of music up there.
Check out, it's not music that you would normally, if you can open up to like pretty hard, not hard rock, I don't know how to put it, but newer rock. My nephew was also given the challenge. His name is Cam Mammina, C-A-M Mammina. Yeah. And instead of just picking the record, he'll choose a song that influenced him off a record and plays along with it.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah, yeah. As my friend Jenna Mammina says, he's the bomb shit. Yeah. So
And where's he at?
Cam Mammina, he's in Michigan. He's here. He's he and his
Family's there.
girlfriend, fiance, bought a really cool house about 20 minutes from here, and they're living that life and, you know, planting the garden. And they were getting married in September, and they decided to move it to the following year just because, you know, because of what's happening. But yeah, they're the ones that gave me this. I don't know if you saw it early on or not, but this watercolor. That's my dad and my dog.
Yeah. I know you lost your dad not long ago.
Yes. Well, it's been over a year now, and I just spilled the plant, my flower water on the ground doing that.
Ruh-roh. Can you take a break? Wipe it up?
No, I'm cool. It's just water. Water wins. Water
I'm
wins.
trying to find the names of this artist that I'm posting today.
Yeah,
Babble
show
the
us.
name of the
Because we all learn. This is how we learn.
Gustavo Santaolalla. I don't know how to say his name. It's Spanish.
Spell the last name?
It's spelled
Santo?
Santaolalla.
Santayo.
Yeah, really. And then the other composer on that film score is Ryuichi Sakamoto, and he's also just an incredible composer. So if you love music, you're gonna love both of these incredible composers. Not people that you really hear much, you know what I mean? I mean, you don't hear their names. But Gustavo has really written for lots of film. Lots and lots. Like Motorcycle Diaries, he wrote the music for that. And a lot of films he's written for and won lots of Grammys for his music. Yeah, so that's what I'm posting today. Check it out.
I will, for sure.
Later on.
And check and please post anything that you want, any information that you want people to know about you, possibly even a link to some music that you've created. Post that on here too.
Okay.
I want that.
So I'm going to sign off, Jenna.
All right,
Love
well,
talking with you.
You're welcome anytime. Maybe, you know,
We'll do it again.
maybe when you get to Philadelphia. And while you're quarantining, we'll hook up.
We'll do it.
All right.
We'll do it.
All right. Thank you, Carolyn, and thanks for the
You know what?
Janelle.
We haven't talked for so very long.
I
I'm
know.
really appreciative of being able to connect with you, Jenna.
I'm too. Well, you were one of my very first. You even let me have a conga in my apartment in the back at Jean Doakes.
Oh my God.
Yep. Thank
Love
you.
you.
I love you too.
Blessings to all your family too, Jenna.
Thank you very much. Carolyn Brandy,
Bye-bye.
everybody, check her out.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Much love and blessings.
Thank you. Thank you. 11:11 with Jenna. It's how we roll. It's how we scroll. It's how we scroll. Thanks, you guys. Happy Monday. Tonight, my friend Andy Crawford is going to be on. Andy's a upright electric bass player and instructor at a college, and is also the head of San Pancho Music Festival that I perform at in San Pancho, Mexico. So he will be here tonight, and tomorrow night Ellen Hoffman's going to be here, and Melanie Demore is going to be here, Carolyn Brandy. It's a week. It's gonna just be, and possibly you. Thank you. So grateful. Have a wonderful day. Eat some healthy food. Get outside if you can. Breathe. Enjoy the sun. Call a friend. Call someone. Say hi. Julie. Thank you. Janelle. Jeff. Anybody else who's here. Love hard.